My name is Gabe Rudiger. I've been training in Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu, kickboxing for probably about 8 years. Well, I initially started off doing grappling tournaments, and then got into doing kickboxing tournaments. And the natural progression was just to do the cage fighting, the MMA. And I basically have spent the entire part of my last 2.5 years dedicating myself to fighting in the cage.
What's been your biggest accomplishment so far in mixed martial arts?
Well, I'm the current WEC World Lightweight title holder, and up to this point, that's definitely been the hugest accomplishment. And just the ability to keep doing it, that's an accomplishment in itself.
What's the biggest challenge for a fighter like yourself?
Just the emotional and physical stress that it puts on you. If you want to be serious about fighting, you have to give up a lot. You have to endure a lot, and it just puts a lot of strain on your life, your personal life. It's just difficult. There's a lot of things that you have to give up in order to fight.
Do you have a wife and kids?
No, I don't have a wife or a kid. But as far as career is concerned, I had to essentially give up any type of career in order to fight full time. Girlfriend, I broke up with a girl that potentially could have been marriage material. It's just difficult. And then you just put a lot of strain on yourself, putting all the time and energy into something that's so physically taxing.
What does your family think about what you're doing?
My mom doesn't understand it. My father is completely against it. I have a younger sister who's actually really supportive. She's 22 and she supports me. Overall, they just don't have a concept of what I do. I showed my mom some tapes and she was kind of horrified. They were proud when I won the title because that showed that, I established myself in what I was doing. Maybe that kind of solidified that what I was doing had some goal. But overall, they're not really positive about it.
What's your opinion on society? Their outlook and the media's outlook. The media's starting to get more accepted to it, but a lot of them think it's like savages or it's human cockfighting. What's your opinion?
I think everyone's going to have an opinion about it, and unfortunately, the way it was initially marketed, it was marketed in that vein, and it's going to take a long time for us to develop into a legitimate sport. And it also, it's obviously not as dangerous as boxing. There's someone just died in boxing yesterday. There hasn't been a fatality in the MMA yet. It's just there's going to be varying views on it, and it's unfortunate that I think as people develop and understand it more, they're going to appreciate it more and recognize that we're legitimate athletes and that what we do isn't just a human cockfight. We go in. It's funny when I talk to people, they have that perception that it is two guys go in there, one guy leaves. And when you actually get down and talk to people about it and explain that there are set rules, that there are weight classes, that there's a judging criteria, when they put all of that into play, people recognize it for what it is and actually appreciate it even more.
How hard is it for a fighter like yourself to stay in shape, train? And I assume you have to work another job on the side of just fighting.
Yeah.
It's not like boxing where you make all this money. How's that stressful in money situations?
When I initially decided to fight, I actually had a good job. I was working at a hospital. As a program manager, I was making great money, and I basically gave that up in order to fight. And there was times where I had $20 to eat for 2 weeks, as well as put gas in my car and then still train for fights. I'm in a position now where I teach at a college, at a university, and I have private lessons that I teach that kind of sustains me outside of fighting. And then I work for a consulting firm as well. But beyond that, it's difficult. You can't have a normal job if you want to really train hard. And then on top of that, it's difficult to be motivated to want to train every day. To go in to get beat up is essentially what you're doing when you train. It's difficult. So
Some of your fans right now?
yeah.
Who are you fighting tonight? What do you expect to have happen?
Actually, I've had 5 opponents pull out on me. This guy, I don't really know anything about him. He's got a Russian name. It's like Bobis Karanov or something like that. there's no real information about the guy, and that actually makes him a little more dangerous. Because if you know something about the opponent, whether he's good or bad, you can kind of, take that into account. But I have no idea what he does, so I'm just going to go in and implement my plan. I don't really concern myself about him that much.
What if you were making a documentary about this, what would you ask the fighters? I ask that to everybody because I think I always look for suggestions and question ideas.
I mean, I think you're definitely on the right track. I also, I mean, if you really want like the personality of a fighter, you should get an idea of what they do on their off time. Because a lot of us, we put so much strain on our body. There's other things that we do in order to, relieve stress or whatnot.
What is there anybody in the industry, any other fighters that just you totally hate that you want to beat the shit out of?
I mean, this industry is a difficult industry where there's a lot of egos that are involved, and in all honesty, I can't think of one fighter in particular that I really just despise. There's people that I dislike more than others, but as long as you're respectful towards me, then I don't really have an issue with anybody. I mean, there's definitely a lot of egos in this industry, so.
Like, how does the egos affect, like, attending a show or fighting several different people?
I mean, it's difficult. You gotta kind of you have to establish a higher mental state. When I'm fighting, especially with my opponents talking trash or whatever, I think I actually use that to my advantage, because if they're getting so emotionally involved, that means that they're gonna come out and make a mistake, and if they make an error, then I can take advantage of that.
Have you ever had an incident backstage with another fighter that you were fighting the same night, like something went off? So shit talk, can you tell us about that?
I had when I fought for the WC title, I had my opponent tell me that him and his brother were gonna kill me and bury me in the desert, which I thought was kind of humorous. And then he was getting all worked up, saying how he had all this hatred for me and he wanted to, kill me and this and that. And I just did exactly what I just said. I capitalized on his anger. I didn't go in there with any emotion. I went in there to win the fight, and that's what happened.
What's your dreams to accomplish in the fighting industry? What do you want to do?
I mean, when I initially got into this, I got into it just to see if I could do it, to test myself. After that, I didn't expect myself to do it professionally, but I never expected to win a world title. After winning a world title, it's funny as you set your aspirations higher every time. Before I was going to fight for the title, I was thinking about retiring and doing something else. I won the title, and then I've defended it successfully, and now I essentially want to see how good I can be. I want to fight the best guys. I want to fight in the best venues. I want to see how good I really am. And if I can't live up to that test, then maybe it's time to do something else.